Cause you don't know football. Reek put us together like the Avengers. For the love of the game, this ain't for the pretenders. Used to strap them up, that's why we qualify. So when I tell you you don't know, I won't apologize. It get ugly on the gridiron, and I'm tired of watching all of these analysts misfire. This raw ain't politically correct, but either way you put it, man, we blessed. Tell y'all networks they should get hip to us. Moving on to big things when they pitch to us. A hot take can make you put on the gloves, but at the end of the day, it's all love. So as you gon' bring the stats to the room, or maybe the eye test to the Zoom, just know we appreciate y'all. But cause you don't know football, cause you don't know football, cause you don't know football.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cuz You Don't Know Football. Of course, it's your daily dose of your football knowledge coming in. Guys, we got a new guy coming in today for y'all, man. I'm very excited about this. Host of a new podcast, and we're gonna get into it with him. Jake.
How you doing?
Jake,
Hey.
what's going on, man? Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you, man. I'm excited to be here.
Listen, the excitement is all mine, okay? First of all, I just want to give an introduction to the people just so they know.
For sure.
Guys, this is Jake from the Pocket Podcast, which on his mission statement, this isn't me putting anything on his mission statement, on a mission to make smarter football fans, because damn it, we know that they need that, and I stand behind this message, okay?
I appreciate that. No, I'm excited to be here. I'm not too loud, am I?
No, you're perfect.
All right, perfect. Yeah, this microphone's a little could be a little unpredictable, but I appreciate you having me on.
Mine too. You gotta figure that out.
It's fair.
Or I'm just loud, just in general.
Same. I have that same problem.
Okay, cool. So, of course, this is just an open dialogue kind of podcast. So we love, just like barbershop talk, I love just hearing what people got to say. So there's no real rules, we're going to guide it. We talk beforehand anyway. So right now, you're actually in the Fatal Flaw series, which is one of my favorite series that I have throughout the year. And we're just saying why each team is not going to make the Super Bowl. Even the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to say why they ain't going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so for you, we got the NFC North teams and the AFC West teams, okay?
You got it. Yep.
All right, cool. So this is just me. I always like to start with the teams that I think are worse, that I think are going to be worse, because I wouldn't want to talk about like the Cleveland Browns having the last team. That would just be bad to me.
For sure.
So we're going to start with the teams that I don't think are going to be very good. So we're going to start with the Raiders. The Las Vegas, I almost called them the Oakland Raiders again. It's Raiders. What is their fatal flaw in the 2026-2027 season?
It's a little unfair because, this is a team that is rebuilding, and I loved a lot of what they did this offseason. But, if I'm picking to me what their biggest weakness is, it has to be cornerback right now, specifically outside corners. Teron Johnson they traded for from the Bills. I mean, he can hold down the slot. Age, he's a little older, but I think he is going to be more than serviceable in the slot. The outside corners do kind of stress me out. And the fact that Patrick Graham, their defensive coordinator for a while, he is now gone. He's in Pittsburgh. He covered up a lot of issues last season.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a little concerned at how, are we going to see a little bit more exposure from those outside corners? They did get Jermod McCoy, in the draft. That was a steal of the draft. I don't know if he's going to play that much this year, but I also do think if you're trying to be optimistic, they had a lot of improvement in their front seven. So that should help their cornerback room, but that to me right now is still their biggest concern, is those outside corners.
Yeah. So for me, it's just I know nothing about so many variables in this roster.
Fair.
And it's hard to basically say I can lean on this. Outside of like Max Crosby, it's hard to say this is definitely gonna be good. So they're starting over. So I'll give them that. But we don't know how good Ashton Genty is right now. We don't know if the quarterback, what's my man from Indiana, just drafted?
Fernando Mendoza, yeah.
We don't know if he's starting this year at all. And even if he is starting, is that offensive line good enough this year? I don't know. So there's so many variables, but you're 100% right. The cornerbacks are bad, but I don't like a whole bunch of question marks on our team for
No,
it's like it's gonna be good.
true. It's true. And I will say, on the offensive line point, I made a series or an episode for the podcast that's coming out this week for From the Pocket about position groups that I think we're kind of sleeping on, and I actually had the Raiders offensive line as one of those. Not to say it's going to be good.
We could have easily said that.
I also don't think I don't think they'll be bad. Last year they had Brendan Carroll, Pete Carroll's son, as their coach for the offensive line, and it was just a train wreck. It was terrible. I think bringing in Clint Kubiak, you see those kind of wide zone Shanahan Kubiak systems. They take a lot of pressure off the offensive line. Mm-hmm. So I do think just by merit of not having bad coaching, it's going to be improved.
Philosophy is going to help them out a lot. I get that.
But it is a question mark. I mean, what does that personnel look like? How good is that offense? I do agree with you.
I got you. Okay. Moving along.
Sure.
And the great thing about this episode is most of these teams are actually on the upswing. So you got a pretty good episode, I must say.
You said the NFC North. I'm like, whew, that is a dog of a division.
Because I'm a Colts fan, so when I have to do like the end of the AFC South, whoever's on the episode is like, I got to do the AFC South. I'm like, come on, man, somebody got to do it. Stop talking about my team. So going over to the NFC North, we're gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings
for sure.
Minnesota Vikings. What is their fatal flaw in this NFL season?
I actually had two for the Vikings, but one of them is more your vegetable. You got to eat your vegetables and do the smart thing pick. And the other's just fun. And we're talking football on a podcast in July. Let's have a little fun, I went with the big discussion around this team. What is that relationship going to look like between Kyler Murray and Kevin O'Connell? Because last year's quarterbacking is what kept them out of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If that relationship does not work out, and there's some reason to believe it might not, it's going to hinder them again. So I go a little deeper on that, but off the rip, that is my biggest concern.
Okay. My fatal flaw for the Vikings is actually still going to be Kyler Murray, believe it or not.
Nice, yeah.
I think that they have a really good roster. I really like the Vikings roster. I like defense. I like the offensive line. I like Aaron Jones has been better than we could have predicted this late in his career. Got Justin Jefferson. I really like this roster. I don't think that they have the quarterback. And I think Kyler Murray is good. He's serviceable. But they could really be competing for the NFC North title. And I don't think they will be this year.
Yeah, it's tough because, last year, look, they won 9 games with probably the 28th best quarterback play in the league. I mean, it was a combination of Max Brosner, Carson Wentz, J.J. McCarthy. It was just not good. Mm-hmm. So, logically, you think, man, if they could get like the 18th best quarterback play, they can win 10 or 11 games. But at the same time, I am a little nervous about how Kyler Murray fits into Kevin O'Connell's scheme. Kevin O'Connell is, again, he's a descendant of that Sean McVay kind of tree. He likes to run under center, bootleg, play action, marry the run in the pass. Kyler Murray is a shotgun pro style spread quarterback. So
absolutely.
I do think, we've seen Sean McVay tailor his offense to make it more shotgun centered. So I do think he can do that. And there are some concepts, the smash concept, the dagger concept that you don't see a ton out of Kevin O'Connell's system, but they do run it effectively. So I see the angle. I see the path where they could come together and be good.
That's what I'm saying.
It is going to be a transition for them. And somebody on either side of the marriage is going to have to give something. And also Kyler Murray, I mean, this as well as I do. We have not seen him play a full season at a high level. Is he going to fall off?
One time he with the Cardinals, they were 14-2 and won first place in the AFC in the NFC. That happened one time. I know that happened one time.
I don't know if he won 14 games one year. Did he win?
They won 14-2. Absolutely. Please fact check me. Please fact check me. Matter of fact, do the fact check. I want to do some more lighting in here. I feel like I'm still a little dark.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So give me this, and I'm gonna be ready.
You got it.
1 minute. Don't say.
All right, so in 2022, I think you're thinking of the 21 season. They went 11-6. That was the year they started out.
Oh, they were 11-6.
They started out 7-0, and then they ended up going.
That's probably what I'm thinking about because
they were really good that year.
I remember that they were like crazy, and they were like were they the number 1 seed in the NFC that year?
No, they ended up actually they ended up losing their division actually to the Rams, and then they lost in the wild card.
Well, there was that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
Okay,
no, I mean, yeah.
so yes, Jake, you're right. Kyler Murray never had a very successful season.
Not in the back half. He needs to, and again, some of that could be the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, Jonathan Gannon, Drew Petzing in Arizona was a bad fit for him. But it's, again, like Drew Petzing was a bad fit for a lot of the reasons Kevin O'Connell's a bad fit. So it's just, how is that going to look? I just don't know. It's my biggest concern for them.
Right. And this goes into a conversation, which, seeing how this is your first time here, I can open this conversation up to you. Just drafting a guy, right? And I think this is still a problem from what they did when they drafted JJ McCarthy. I never liked that pick. I always was like, that's the wrong pick. He was like the third quarterback in the draft, and they just happened to have the need. And I feel as though at quarterback, more than other position groups, you have to have the guy. You cannot draft a guy at that, like you can have depth at quarterback. You either have something great there, or it's gonna hold you back. Okay.
It's true.
So I think that they are looking at their roster, and the problem is they're saying we can get a guy. As long as somebody's a little bit better than JJ McCarthy, we can do it. And that's going to be I could have said that is the fatal flaw. That thought process right there. That's what I should have said was the fatal flaw. But I hate when teams just say, "Oh, we can just get a guy, and this is just going to work out." And I'm like, it happened. It worked out like 3 times in NFL history, and y'all are acting like this is like the trend.
No, it's 100%. I mean, and again, like going back like to the style match, like JJ McCarthy was not a style fit for this offense. Like it really did feel like, hey, we have 5 quarterbacks. As long as one of them falls to us in this first round, we're going to be fine. And it wasn't fine. It wasn't fine. They did not cater to JJ McCarthy's skill set. And now they're bringing in a guy that it's like kind of a lot of the same questions, not quite the same, but it's still the underlying problem still remains. Can this guy fit this offense? So, and then if you'll allow me just really quick, I did want to say their offensive line depth is a problem. Last year, they were beat up on the offensive line. They had 26 starting offensive line combinations last year.
Okay.
And it's still a bit of a problem. I mean, Ryan Kelly retired. It's something to watch. They have a good offensive line, but it is thin.
Well, hopefully no injuries to him, and Kyler Murray hopefully throws for 5,000 yards. Then we might have a different conversation.
That'd be great.
Probably won't happen, though.
Probably not. Probably not.